We come from a background of robust science, but over the years, we've now been going 15 years, we've got clients, advisors, top-end advisors around the world and saying, look, your stuff is very robust and scientific at the beginning, but let me tell you what happens after we relax and talk with clients, get over that first stage. And they break it down into 3 conversations. They say planning is actually 3 conversations, sometimes consequential, but often just over time we go through each one. First is the conversation about risk tolerance. Particularly with new clients, they're always interested in who they are, how they're different from their partner, how they're different from other people. So the first conversation is, you've done our test, you've seen our report, I need an instruction from you of the risk tolerance you want me to take into account in me giving you advice. Second conversation is the conversion of that score to an asset allocation. What we're trying to do there is share with the client the possible outcomes of a portfolio consistent with risk tolerance. Now, we provide a history over the last 40 years in 9 countries of portfolios consistent with various risk tolerance scores, from 0 exposure to growth assets to 100% in 10% increments. That enables the client and the advisor to reach a solid understanding of the range of possible outcomes. Generally, portfolios deliver 1.5 to 2 times the bank CD rate. They tend to grow very rapidly when the market's booming. Fast growth in portfolios is often less than 12 months. And when markets are in decline, and we always emphasise the worst falls, not the 95th percentile, but the worst falls, they tend to be long and very deep. At the end of that process, the client and advisor have a good understanding of each other's framework for what their portfolio might do in the longer term and the shorter term. And finally, the major conversation is obviously the matching of assets to liabilities as they fall due, the financial plan itself, if you will. Now, that's the ongoing conversation that can go on for the next 10, 20 or 30 years. What we know from our experience is that risk tolerance itself tends not to vary. What does change is almost everything else in the client's life. Their prioritisation of goals, their circumstance, their health, their children, their employment, their housing, their inheritances. All of those things are quite dynamic. The nature of planning is the conversations with clients on a regular basis about the achievement of their goals as they reorder them over life. So the 3 conversations are in fact the very essence of the planning process.